You want to come on in for a seance seat, an other side open forum of sorts, and we'll utilize the scrolls to ignite our meditative state and tether the two realms. Closing the eyes, releasing the race and the rush, slowing everything down, activating the abstract mind and ancient awareness to perceive and receive symbolic support from beyond and with and for our psyche and psychic senses. By all means, you can feel free to fast forward, but I'm going to gravitate to a few scrolls. You're welcome to see them first, to see, sense, and feel. I'm noticing already that somebody is stepping forward that's rubbing my shoulders. I don't know if this is a comfort thing, but there's like a hands on my shoulders, like squinching. Interesting. That's how it's coming through. So you already saw the scrolls, and hopefully I set them up okay. If you don't mind, I'm going to dig in here. Thank you for holding space so I can share my insights and symbolic story that may or may not resonate. Okay, so maybe there's something going on while they were rubbing my shoulders. Like, it's okay. They may have a message to share. It'll come through. We'll add on tarot and oracle in a moment. Okay, so this might be why, because somebody might have been preparing me to see this, and I've never seen this before in this scroll. So somebody might have taken their own life with, I'm seeing a gun to the head in here. Oh, the camera's backwards, but hopefully you can see that. If not, so if you're resonating with this, and we'll move through, and I'll try and remember to timestamp if it pertains, but I feel like this is the spirit stepping forward. Okay, I don't think that they meant to cause anyone else any pain, but there was something going on with maybe kind of work they did. Something was hidden. I don't think whoever it was knew, those around them knew, or maybe now you have an idea that there was something going on behind the scenes. They are happy now. They are not suffering, should you resonate with that. So here's where I saw like the moment, and then they've gone up, and there's a blatant happy face there. I'm going to flip it to win it for just a moment. I don't think the path that they picked here to experience this round was necessarily a joyful one. I'm not saying that they were unhappy, but they're, but obviously at some point in time there could have been that sensation, but they tried really, really hard inside of their mind. So maybe they had a mental condition or something along that lines. So I'm seeing like the road here. Whoops, it's backwards. And then now the smiley face is, right? But then this is like all in their head. Something, I feel like something might have possessed their personality. So and it could just be in that, I'm going to say the word psychosomatic, but I'm not really sure that's the right term. They're getting to work. So I want to show this progression. I know you guys saw it already. So here's the human and the hurt, and I'm very compassionate to that, to the spirit, and I'm really grateful they kind of prepared me for it with the shoulders, shmoosh. This is like the higher realm, the human and the hurt to the higher self and the healing, and they're getting to work on this, and they're getting to work on it because it's coming into this healing, multidimensional healing, or liminal layered healing. I'm going to switch to the light. Thank you. Their aura is beginning to transform, and I don't mean their aura in the way we would consider it from like a human perspective around. I feel like their energy is healing on and with many different places. Okay, thank you. So there's other aspects. This current person that was passed, understands the other aspects it has or went through in past lives. So presently there could be other aspects existing and from the past as well. So there's like a mixing of this multitude. There was something it needed to learn about the human and the hurt. And they keep bringing me back. Don't focus on the frown. Focus on the smile, because that's where I'm at now. They might have had a partner that was feminine, because I'm seeing like a bikini top. Or simply express themselves in the feminine. Feel good feminine. Expressing in the feminine felt good. Felt good. I feel like they might have fought a lot because of this. I'm not going to assume it's like a mental disability or a mental illness, but there's something up there, something in the mind that inevitably led to this taking of one's own life. But let us focus on the path in which they are now. And I'm being driven to say, don't focus on the path that I chose, even though it is a gentleman, trying to respect those he may have hurt and the weeping that happened around that passing. So there's a respect, but for oneself, that's one path of so many. But he's trying to, like, a higher self, help those that he hurt, and by sharing the lightness, like this ant, like a lot of work, a lot of ants. This is bringing that worker mentality of different aspects and different parts of the energy. It's like sprinkling something, like fairy dust almost. And he's like, I know I can't make up for it, but I'm not here to make up for it. I'm here to make things harmonious for one and all, and to extend my respect and happiness There's definitely some sort of like emotional, like I'm seeing, sometimes in those tribes there would be a stick through the nose or something like that, but I'm seeing it like through the throat. Something was just cut off in this lifetime. Freedom of voice, freedom of feeling, perhaps. Maybe his position just didn't allow him to feel freely and express it. Okay, there's that feminine beauty. Just like that bikini top. Okay, so there's two ways that I'm wandering this in the first person of the spirit who's still standing behind me at some point, but it's kind of like looking over my shoulder depending on which direction I'm kind of sending my awareness to. There is some sort of overwhelming emotional block that he wasn't free from, and it almost drowned his feminine energy. Okay, so if this male expression was feminine in expression, right? So this is all energy alchemy. How one chooses to dress, walk, talk are expressions of energy. They're not defining of a person in any sort of capacity, is what I'm hearing. But it was like almost like the alchemy couldn't be found. Like, where do I belong in this body? And now there's this, I feel like it might have been confusion because one felt like one had to choose, and there didn't have to be a choice. And now one understands that there doesn't have to be a choice. For simplicity's sake, let's say, male, female, but they're all one. They all mix and mingle in this. Oh, there's such a grand understanding. It's so grand. So what was possibly volatile before, and the feminine like could have almost got that drowning, but now it's like, oh, I feel so free and so good in my respective male and female energies, because they're mixing and they're helping other aspects. Maybe they're helping other people who are struggling with this mentally. If there's a mental concept, they're trying to synergize. This is a powerful, complex mind that thought it had to move within boxes of being by the perception presented from outside in. And there was a struggle. That was the struggle, or the mental angst to say, you know, these are the options presented to me, versus feeling free to explore and not be stuck there, or not have it be concrete, to be fluid. I'm here. Oh, I'm being surrounded by the closest I can put is these two colorings, and I'm being surrounded by the magic of that, of like all the energy centers, all the chakras. And I just heard like a wisdom. If I was working on the root chakra, I'm not defined by the work I do on the root chakra, or nor am I defined in the time that when I'm doing things, reading things, saying things pertaining to that. And then I'm not defined at the throat or the crown or this or the hands. There's some sort of misconception that when you're working on the root, you are the root and you must stay in the root. Like that knowledge attained or the energy received defines. No, it's built upon to explore that, maybe wearing a lot of red, or just a very simple manner, you know, things that you do to explore your ancestry or your lineage or your bloodline. You do those things. They are part and parcel of like the weaving, but they're meant to work with the sacral. And then one might move into like the sacral energy and then maybe explore painting, woodworking, or whatever the case may be, mathematician. There's something about being rigid in the spine of self that actually ended up closing off the communication, again, at this container of having to choose presented to this person. And now, like the Kundalini energy is understood that it actually is for each other. It's never solely serving that space solely. Does that make sense? Wow, I feel like that was really, really wild. Yeah, it was a big travel that this soul just took me on, and I'm so grateful for that. Look at that harmony of the handshake, right? There's a peace being made amongst the traveling of the dimensions of one mind. I'm seeing the movie, Renewal come in, What Dreams May Come, like a choosing of suffering. And it's not the case. That's a lot, love. Sorry, I'm just going to put those in. And there was an implied, again, presented from the outside in, that by having passed the way I did, that I would be, you know, doomed to a suffering existence beyond. And he thought about it. He's like, maybe I do deserve that, maybe. And then very early on, I feel like he was met by somebody, like a spirit guide or another aspect of oneself. And he figured it out really, really quickly to be like, again, there's something about the way being presented with things and choices and assuming those are the only choices. So when the soul passed, he was presented with perhaps paradigms in his mind from an existence, or that received, that these would be my choices. And I can see steps being had and then a stopping, going, no, it's not in a defiance, actually. It's in a divinity. And saying, oh, these aren't, choices presented to me aren't my only choices. What if I, sacral energies coming back up, I can create another choice, but nobody promotes that because it's powerful. So when he was met and made that had that thought, it was so celebratory. And he successfully created a heaven to work through. Went through different gates, changes in moderation, and decided not to favor anything, but truly be heart open and a confidence in speaking. I want to note that from the scrolls, like, these feel similar to me. Moderation in the material world. And then in this purple scroll, there's the change and development. And this is kind of the schooling that actually, because even Earth, right, existence, this is still an educational space. It might be experimental, or it could be exciting and eclectic, but it's still educational. And I think the soul has just moved on to a higher self high school of sorts. And I'm using higher self high school, or the term high school, not in a actual reflection of where one might be, because it doesn't pertain there. I just heard, I swim now in the sea of myself, soul, and spirits. I send healing for those inhuman. Something about forgiveness. And there's this wisdom of understanding that maybe the way one left was jarring and upsetting for others. And I just heard something, but it fleeted really quickly. So if I can take a moment just to rewind the tape, if I can, I might have fast forwarded. Something about the forgiveness. It was something about the forgiveness. Okay, because the way this person passed, understanding that it was, volatile and severe for them, of like a sadness, but it wasn't. Was it an escapism? Possibly, but the escape was educational. I lost the actual train of thought of the message in there. That's okay. Thank you. There's lots going on. All right, we're going to get ready to close with this spirit, and I want to thank you for being with me and holding space for the spirit to share their story. Everything that is happening with this spirit, and maybe you can or may not resonate, but it was about transforming the way the soul not only felt the self, but in others, and is now making dreams real, interdimensional dreams real. There's no more smoke and mirrors. The smoke brings messages, the birds bring messages, and that could be how from the realm of beyond, we'll call it, or the gates, perfect acceptance. It has been accepted. The choices, that's what it was. Thank you very, very much. Rewind when I couldn't remember. And it said, the spirit said, I chose the way I passed on, whether it looks like I didn't or was, I don't know. There's a weird, I did. Now I know I did. I had that option, I had that choice, and I took that choice. It's not by accident. It taught me something, and it taught me transformation. It not only transformed me from the tangible world to a more ethereal world, but I'm still learning and I'm still loving life. Moving through change and development, moderation. It's so beautiful. I hope I'm not like triggering anybody, and I apologize if I am. But this is legitimately the message that's coming through from the spirit, who is just so strong. I was just going to say so strong, is like one over my shoulders, like preparing me for this. And the closing out here is justice has been made from any sort of competition of the containers of creation in the mind, in the heart, in the soul, of being physical and non-physical now. And the strength to do that. I have the strength, I am the strength, and that is what I will share with those that I left. I didn't leave them, but I did. I did leave them, he's saying. I did leave them, and I chose that. And, maybe the understanding one day will be understood. But I'm okay. I want to thank you so much for stepping forward, and if you decided to sit with us here at this table, truly grateful and honored, and until next time, thank you.